Today, my project is to clean some of the gutters from the house. It was really weird. The decks below these particular gutters were always filled with stuff. So my father and I both thought the gutters would be really full. So on a nice sunny day, I said to myself, okay, Paula, go upstairs, move the bed, crawl out the window, and clean the easiest gutters that are in the house. So the house is 2 stories high with a basement. So it's a little bit higher than the average 2-story house. And yes, my bed is not made. I'm going to wash the sheets after this. So I moved the bed forward and I took down the curtains that my mom made years ago to block out the sunshine. And right opposite the window is our rental unit, and below that is the garage. So the area between the main house and the addition is what I am working on right now. So thankfully, I'm not afraid of heights, and I am not wearing shoes because I feel like I have a better grip when I'm barefoot, if it's not too hot outside or if nothing is pokey. So if you see my little bare feet, that's what I know about because I did it on purpose. So I'm going to come out the window, and I have my little bucket with me to put all of the stuff that's in the gutter, and it has not rained up until this point for about 3 months. It does say in the weather that it's supposed to rain within a week or so. So I just thought, okay, Paula, clean the gutters out where you see the most mess, and later on you can do the rest of the house. Now, later on in the video, I do take a ladder to the other area in this location, but the rest of the house, I really need somebody to help me because the ladder itself is so heavy. It goes up to 2 stories. It's an amazing ladder, but I physically can't. You have to prop it up, and then you have to use a cord on it to lift it all the way up, and yeah. So once my husband gets home from being overseas, which is hopefully sooner than later, when it stops raining, he can help me do the gutters then. So you can see here is all of the mess from the gutters, and it's interesting because there are no trees near this part of the roof. The other day I saw a bird, and we have a pine tree. And he had a pine cone, or it had a pine cone. Don't know if it was a female or a male, but it was a crow. I love crows. And it was pecking at the pine cone, and all of the little pieces started falling into the gutter. And I said to myself, this is how all of this is getting in here. It's from the squirrels, it's from the moss that normally grows in this part of the United States, it's from the birds. And I personally have never cleaned these gutters out. I think my husband cleaned them out maybe 2 years ago. So we do know that gutters should be cleaned every year. But you can see how much is left in the gutters right now. And I wondered about gutters because they're very interesting. They help with the basement's not flooding because it takes the water away from the house. And so I found out that the earliest rain gutters were from the Indus Valley civilization, and that's what most of us would call the area in and around India. And they found them from around 3000 BC, and they were made from burnt clay bricks. And that's also what people used to use for sewage and for water. I went to Syria to visit my friend who was living there for 2 years working for the U.S. government back in around 2002. And I went up to see some of their Roman buildings, and all of the water and sewage pipes were made out of clay. So cool. So fired clay is what they used to use. Now we use metal, as you can see. So speaking of gutters, I bet a lot of you have seen that, oh, look at him, pretty high up. I'm just joking with you. I have no problem with fear of heights. I actually bungee jumped in Nanaimo, British Columbia, when I was about 21 years old. And if you remind me to tell you, I'll tell you about that story later on. So my father, because of all of the garbage that was falling on the decks, like the one right below us, it was filled with pieces of moss and all these things. My dad thought that the gutters were full. So he got a pamphlet in the mail about a gutter company that's, I believe, from the Midwest. I won't say their names. I don't want to say disparaging things about anybody that I don't know personally, of course. And so if you called the person up, then they would come out to your house and they would give you a bid on how much it would cost to not only clean all your gutters, but they had a really cool way. I think it was made from stainless steel to keep the items off of or out of your gutters. So water could then go into the gutters nicely and you wouldn't have to worry about backups and things like that. What I normally do is when I want to buy something, I think to myself, how much do I want to spend on this? So at the time, I thought, okay, maybe about $3,000 because we do have a lot of gutters and they're pretty high up, and wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to clean the gutters? So I called the company, and the company said, are all of the people who are going to make this decision home? And well, of course, my husband would make the decision as well, but I wanted the guy to come out, and I can make decisions. So I said, yeah, I'm the homeowner, I can make the decision. So a very nice young man came over, and he walked around with my dad, because my dad's the one who wanted to have the new gutters. And so then my dad came in the house, and I went outside because it was a beautiful sunny day, and we talked about pricing. So he showed me how the gutters worked, and that he actually did this for a part-time job trying to sell this, and he came up with a bid of, guess, how much do you think it would cost? Well, I didn't want to spend any more than $3,000, so when he said $8,000, I was like, oh, wow, okay. So I told him that basically my idea in my head was $3,000, which foolishly I should have said $2,000, because right away he said, oh, okay, well, we can actually do it at cost, because we really want to make sure that the people that we've hired to work for us have jobs going all the time. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, that's a little sketchy. If you're going to go from $8,000 to $3,000, I don't trust you right there and then. So the guy was really nice, and I do think the product really seemed like a great idea, but that kind of hard sale is not what I really like. And he then said that if I don't accept it today or that day, then I couldn't get that really good price. So I said, oh, okay, that's too bad, because I probably would do it if I had a couple of days to think about it. So yeah, I didn't get it done. And I kind of felt like I was back in the good old days when people went around houses to sell vacuums or snake oil or whatever. Anyway, it was quite the experience. So now I'm going back into the bedroom to dump out the bucket of stuff that was in the gutters, but I'm not done yet. Now you can see on the right and the left of the bed, these are two of the tables that I did. The one on the left of the bed is the white one from IKEA, and the one on the, that was left-hand side, the one on the right-hand side is the one that was a kind of yellow oak one that I redid. It had an oval top, and then I made it black, painted it black. We did not have any side tables, so I thought, hey, I can use side tables. And really, I'm a bit shocked that items on Facebook Marketplace, it's not, it's so cheap. It's so inexpensive. My sister-in-law and my brother moved into a new house, and they bought this amazing table that had 4 leaves. So it went from a square to a circle with, I think, 6 really nice chairs. Guess how much money? Guess. Yeah, $250. So how any furniture flippers make any money in my area is beyond me. So now I'm dumping out the gutter items into the recycle. And now I am getting a ladder. Now you'll see I have 2 ladders here. One that has the silver bottom area legs and one is yellow. So I take the silver one out and I realize it's still way too low for me because I am about 5'5" and I have really short arms. I always joke that I have T-Rex or Velociraptor arms because my friend's 11-year-old daughter, who's shorter than me, has longer arms than me. And my students in the UAE, when they would ever sit next to me like on a field trip, they would always say, "Oh, miss, your fat hands, they look like baby labna." I think I've mentioned this before. Labna is a kind of white milk product. Anyway, so yeah, I have very short arms and very little hands, and yeah. You'll also see there's a little troll on the deck. My mom loves trolls, so whenever we don't know what to buy her, we buy her a troll. So here is the other deck that I cleaned out for the gutter, and I am not joking. The next time it rained, after these gutters were totally empty, the whole deck was covered with schmutz. And it's like, what the heck? And I think schmutz is Jewish, I can't think of the language, like Yiddish, a Yiddish word for like yucky, gross stuff. So I love that word, yeah. Anyway, so I cleaned out all of this area, and I did realize that a lot of the stuff was going down the drain because I saw some leaves down there, but my little fat fingers couldn't get them out. So once my lovely husband comes home, we will get the high pressure power washer and kind of clean these out better and hopefully clean out the gutters so they don't back up. Anyway, this roof was put on in 2008, so I think I still have a little bit more time before I have to replace it. And you can see now this is the yellow bottom ladder because I was too low from the other way. So I got it all out, and you can see the moss growing in between the shingles. Now, sometimes we do put, it's like a salt or something that we put on the very top of the roof. And so when it rains, it kills all the moss below it. Sometimes we've hired people to come and clean the moss off, but moss is a problem when it rains all the time in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. However, in the summertime, 3 months, no rain. Oh, we had so many fires. It was so bad. So here's me picking off some of the moss just to see what it feels like. Anyway. So gutters are a very important thing, and make sure you have them at your house. Here I am coming down again, and I'll dump this out. I'll put everything away like a good project person would do. And I really just love this kind of thing. Now, I also did a little bit of rock climbing back in the day, and I wish there was some kind of belaying device that I could hook up on the roof and belay down to clean it, better than ladders. Anyway, that was my project to get rid of the stuff from the gutters. Have a great day and subscribe!